I had a really clear message coming through today while I was in meditation that I really wanted to share with you. And the message that was coming through was this realization that as we progressively become more aware of our true potential and our ability to activate DNA and what that will do to change our perspective of reality and our perspective of who and what we truly are, it's this healing process of this experience that we've been having of the divine amnesia. That means we've believed ourselves to be separate from the divine. And it had been so prolific that we didn't even know it was an experience that we were having, because when you're born into this reality and you forget your multidimensional nature, you believe, oh, this reality is all that exists. And you're surrounded by people who also live in that belief system. So you adopt that belief system. It becomes what's true for you, and we're all perpetuating it all the time. And with the new perspective of the 12 strands of DNA, what I want to explain is that each strand relates to a different dimension. So there are 12 dimensions of time, space, and matter in one time structure, one time matrix. And so as we activate and reassemble each of the DNA strands, what will happen is your body is then able to receive and anchor in higher dimensional energies and information and perspectives from each of those higher, broader layers of reality. So each new strand is like a zooming out of a map. Like if you're on Google Maps on satellite view, each new DNA strand is like zooming out on the picture way further. So you're getting way more information. You're getting more of a broader perspective of everything that is happening, everything that has happened. You can see into the past, into the future. So this is what's coming for us. And when you have this perspective of, okay, I'm on this journey of reassembling my DNA, I'm on this journey of broadening my perspective, of remembering who and what I really am, what you'll come to realize is that the state of separation, of having believed ourselves to be separate, having believed ourselves to be physical, believing this physical reality is all that exists, these are all the symptoms of having only two DNA strands that are functioning. So every time that you hear someone who is arguing or who is discussing the existence of the divine, what they're really revealing to you is that they are in a reality where they're not having a direct personal experience, and that is happening because they are only operating from a 2 DNA strand reality. If that same person was to have some kind of spiritual awakening or do some research and some activities to restore their memory, bring back the 3rd DNA strand, that reassembly process is what will restore their awareness of their innate connection with the divine. And they will have a direct personal experience of being able to communicate and connect and sense and feel the divine in everything. But in that 2 DNA strand experience, it feels like I am a separate being. I am just something inside of this body, and anything outside of this body is separate from me. So that then becomes now basically the symptoms of the divine amnesia that we didn't know we were all living with. And the dimensions that we can connect to as we reassemble each strand of DNA and you start to anchor in information from higher and higher levels of reality, what you're able to do is connect more and more strongly, potently, intensely with the love and with the joy of the divine that had always been there for us. It's just our experience that was telling us, oh, this is not something I'm receiving, this is not something I'm feeling. But that's not been true. It has always been there. So you realize it's almost like if you imagine the sun is shining at its full strength throughout the day, but if clouds come along, then that's going to impact the strength of the sun that you can feel. If you're hiding underground in a cave, then you're going to say, oh, I can't see the sun shining. If you're even wearing sunglasses, it's blocking the sun. So you're going to say, oh, the sun's not as strong behind these sunglasses. And it's all these different layers of things that we have been experiencing that have been blocking us from the love and from the joy of the divine that has always been there. So the reassembly of your DNA is the process of dismantling the blocks to the divine love that is your birthright.